Alright, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star Rail video, and with a decent amount of hype and speculation circling around the only character coming out in 2.6 being the Imaginary Air Edition character Rappa. We have got info, we've gotten some speculations, we've gotten some wonders if she is going to be this character that's going to end up being too worth it, especially when being compared to the current top DPSs, mainly being Acheron, Firefly, and Beishao. As she is supposed to be a DPS, it's obviously that she's going to be compared to those characters as opposed to anyone else. But mainly she is being compared to Firefly thanks to the fact that her kit may be working really similar. And so today I kind of want to be talking about the problems of that along with other things, and also firstly highlighting why Firefly is really good and why Rappa is in a tough spot if she does end up being that character that is similar to Firefly. And yep, that's all I gotta say before I get to the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and let's get straight into it. So before I talk about Rappa herself, let's talk about the current really good DPSs. So let's first talk about Beishao and Acheron, what make them really good before we talk about Firefly, as Firefly is going to be the main comparer in this video. But DPSs are already kind of set in stone thanks to those three characters already mentioned. Acheron is really good because she's really easy to stack up, and with the variety of teammates she has that are really good, able to provide debuffs such as defense lowered, vulnerability, and all that kind of stuff. With the amount of really good agility characters as well, it's really easy to build her up, and it's really easy to get her all to just completely nuke everything. There really has not been a single form of content where she is bad in. She can destroy high levels of Simulated Universe and Divergent Universe. MOC she can easily zero cycle. Pure Fiction is practically a guaranteed clear. Apocalyptic Shadow is a very quick clear as well, thanks to the fact that she's really easy to use and also really easy to just wipe the field thanks to how strong her ultimate is. And on the other side we have the newly released Beishao, which is a character that can be really good or really bad depending on the level of investment. On a lower level of investment, she's obviously not going to be comparing to characters like Firefly, who has a more free-to-play side team, or Acheron, who can have a more free-to-play side team that works better. But even with low investment, she still is able to cook and get you clears and all the contents. Do Divergent Universe specifically well because there's so many buffs tailored towards her, making her so good. And then once you get to a higher level investment with the more premium units, she becomes definitely on that same tier thanks to the fact that her single target damage is just unparalleled. It just nukes, shred through weakness bars, and is extremely easy to get thanks to the constant applications of fall attack on her team and also her own. And again, just the way she's able to nuke everything is extremely good. But now going over the highlights of Firefly specifically, because Rappa seems that she's going to work sort of similar minus the transformation part. So Firefly on her own is really solid, but obviously you need to have Harmony Trailblazer to make her do really good damage and make her that tier 0 that she is, which really isn't an issue thanks to the fact that Harmony Trailblazer is a literal free unit. But including Harmony Trailblazer, what makes her kits really good is she works so good with Super Break. She has two relic sets that are literally made perfect for her with the Iron Cavalry Super Break set and then the Forge set. She's able to practically do anything, which actually just has her in her ultimate practically always with a complete combustion, thanks to the fact that when she's not in complete combustion, she can regenerate a fixed amount equal to 60% of her own energy. So going into MOC, just one skill and boom, your skill's ready or your ultimate's ready and boom, ult, go crazy. Really good multipliers thanks to her break effect and attack scaling, because more attack you get more break effect, and as she is a great DPS, you want a lot of break effect. The fact she's able to get so much speed, enabling her to get so many turns, and is also able to implant fire weakness, so she's guaranteed able to break literally any win as long as they're not the weakness locked. So some bosses that can lock their weakness bars, as long as they're not that, she's able to implant fire weakness and just shred through them. Once they are weakness broken, you can do Super Break and do 400, 500, 600k damage per skill, and just keep going that over and over again because of how fast she can be. And on top of that, with their best in slots of teammates being really free to play, because it's her, and then you have Harmony Trailblazer, who is a free unit, and then you also have Gallagher, who is a free unit technically, but is a 4-star, very accessible. And then the last slot is the only other premium unit, which is usually someone like Ruan Mei, but you can also sub it up for other characters. But Ruan Mei is obviously the best one you can do because she is the Harmony support and is also the support for break effect and break teams. So you combine it, and compared to other teams, like premium fall attack team is literally 4 premium units. Something like Acheron, where you can have a free-to-play version, but her more premium sides if you have Acheron at E0. Premium teammates are something like Black Swan, Xiaochu, and then the best in slots sustains are also premium units. Can obviously, again, downgrade that, but for the most part it's more premium, as opposed to the break teams, where it's a lot more free-to-play friendly. So you combine all these things being free-to-play, having a really good kit, especially combining with Super Break becoming literally broken, implanting fire weakness, gaining a lot of turns thanks to a bunch of speed that her own kit gives, and Firefly is this insane character character that can practically kill every types of content as well. High level Divergent Universe, Simulated Universe, Zero Cycle MOC, easily clear Purification as well, and also easily get high fast clears in Apocalyptic Shadow. And then finally start talking about Rappa. So from what it does seem, it looks like from what we know that she is going to be another character that obviously doesn't work the exact same, but will be working like a Super Break character like Firefly is. The big problem is the erudition curse, because erudition characters are usually tailored towards specifically being in pure fiction. If we take a look at erudition characters, we have Herta, Himiko, who are practically only good in this mode and really bad at elsewhere. We have Argenti, who is really good in this mode. We have Jade, who's really good in this mode, but they're not too good in other modes. They still can work in the other modes, but in pure fiction they become god, and so on. So erudition is a case where she might be sort of locked into thanks to the erudition curse. Especially from what we know, it looks like she is going to be mainly a character that sticks into it, because it looks like she's not going to be able to be like Boohill, who can implant physical weakness, or Firefly, who can implant AoE fire weaknesses. And so if enemies are not weak to imaginary, she is practically going to be able to do nothing. Because what makes these break characters so powerful is you can literally take them into content where they are not weak to their type. So again, if they're not weak to physical, Boohill all implant and you can shred them. Firefly, doesn't matter if anyone's not weak to fire, you just pop the skill, go crazy, boom, they're weak to fire now, and you go crazy, albeit a weaker version, but you can still implant it. So you can also do that. And then you also have characters like Acheron and Fei Xiao who can ignore the weakness regardless of the type. They don't need to implant it, they just lower it regardless, which Rappa does seem to actually have, but a much weaker version, equal to around 50% of that, from what it does seem, which is going to be really tough, because if it's that weak, it's going to be extremely hard to actually shred people in something like Memory of Chaos or Apocalyptic Shadow, where their weakness bars are normal or inflated. And the reason that can actually be fine in something with Pure Fiction is because the weakness bars in Pure Fiction are extremely weaker than other modes. A lot of enemies being spammed at you, it's usually spread across, so the toughness bars are very, very weak and very, very easy to break. So you can literally run a non-break team and you'll still be able to nearly one-shot break the actual weakness bars of these smaller enemies, thanks to the fact that it is very, very low. And so that lets the rainbow DPS that Rappa can be work really well in something like Pure Fiction. But in other modes, it's going to be really tough, and if they're not super broke, it's going to significantly lower the damage, because if you guys don't know, or you haven't seen, if you've seen Firefly do damage to non-weakness broke enemies for the super break to prog and her kit to work, or just break characters like that in general, their DPS is very, 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 very bad, because the whole point is to break them so you can do damage. Boohill's the only exception, because he can also kind of crit, but his damage is obviously wanting them to be break, so you can deal the break damage. And then Firefly, again, you literally go from hitting crazy numbers you can't hit when the weakness broken and the super break to literally like 20k or 10k or maybe not even 10k. But the moral of that is you do need them to be weakness broken to actually get break characters to work, because that's how the whole playstyle works. And Rappa will take a while to actually weakness break characters outside of Pure Fiction, which is going to make her DPS a lot slower, a lot harder to set up, and that is going to be a very, very big issue. Another very, very big thing about her team is it's going to be identical to Firefly's team. Firefly is one of the most owned limited characters in the game, so I'm sure a lot of people have Firefly. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that skipped, including me, but this still doesn't change the fact that she's one of the most owned limited characters. And a problem is we don't have two Harmony Trailblazers and we don't have two Ruan Meis, so if you have Firefly, it's going to significantly decrease the value of Rappa on your account, because Firefly can already max out Pure Fiction. Do you really need another DPS to max out Pure Fiction easily? Because I'm sure Rappa is going to work better than Firefly in Pure Fiction, but outside of that, Firefly is just going to work everywhere else infinitely better. So do you really need that extra upgrade for that mode that you already can clear? Since once again, you're going to need to break them, and Rappa outside of Pure Fiction is going to have a tough time with that, because she can't implant the imaginary weakness, and so she's a rainbow DPS with a lot lower of a toughness reduction. So it's still going to take a while, as opposed to Firefly, who can shred through it very, very quickly, or Boohill, who can also shred through it very quickly. And so are you really gonna take that and take a weaker version of a Firefly with obviously different typings into something like Memory of Chaos with the same team, because you can't use two Ruan Meis, two Harmony Trailblazers? You're going to have to choose between one of the two. You're gonna have to put Ruan Mei or Harmony Trailblazer on the other side. And both teams especially really, really want Harmony Trailblazer at least, they can live without Ruanmei. She is still really important, but Harmony Trailblazer is the very big core component, and we do not have 2 as of now. So that's a big thing, and that's why it's going to sort of be semi not worth to actually take the team of Firefly and Robert and sort of put it to Rappa instead, because she's going to perform in one mode better. So it's sort of not going to be a weird thing, because you once again have Firefly, who is able to clear Pure Fiction with max points easily and also do all other content easily. And then you have Rappa, who's just going to be a slight upgrade in the Pure Fiction mode, and elsewhere it's going to be a pretty big downgrade, because again, you can't use the same teammates on 2 different teams, so you can't just do one side. And with our Harmony Trailblazer on either or team, it's going to significantly reduce the amount of power the team has. And let's face it, most people will put their Harmony Trailblazer on Firefly because she's just that much more powerful. And that has been the video. That is sort of what I think the problem with Rappa is going to be. Obviously, do not start doom posting. I'm only making this video as the only form of doom posting I will do, because obviously I do not want to talk too bad about a unit before they are officially released, because this is all speculation and info we may have elsewhere. Nothing may remain the same, and we may get some different changes. This speculation might become something completely different. Actually, may become a completely different unit entirely. But from what we've had in the game, what we have in the game, and what the teams are, the issues with that, why units are super good, as opposed to another unit which is going to be an upgrade, potentially in one mode, because that's the Erudition Curse. Erudition units are usually only good in Pure Fiction, as opposed to other modes. Usually a Destruction character can be better in something like MOC, the Simulated Universes, Apocalyptic Shadow as well, but usually in the modes like Pure Fiction, they may not perform the best, while Erudition characters excel in Pure Fiction, but elsewhere they're not too powerful. So off all that speculation, it will seem that Rappa may not be that good, especially from what we already know. Obviously, I still really love her design, I'm still going to be pulling for her, but if this is how it sort of stays, then it's just going to be how it is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Peace out.